I believe that every movie adheres to the 29-point story structure. No matter if the writer outlines first or dives in blind, the end product follows the same 29 beats. The Old Guard is my Exhibit M. This definitely qualifies for the next entry in the rotation, New Action. Its near universal praise made it an easy favorite for many, and Charlize Theron's action hero chops can't be questioned. An adapted screenplay needs to trim out many novelized details while remaining true to the story. That high-wire act can oftentimes sacrifice emotion for plot, but the Old Guard managed that balance. How? Let's begin. A tight focus on the core elements of the protagonist's personality, inner conflict, and situation. Andy keeps herself hidden, an increasingly difficult task in this modern age. She's the boss of a ragtag group of warriors who are tired of sitting the sidelines. Though she's not entirely excited about this new mission, she accepts it. Where, why, and how the protagonist exists in their world, with a focus on why they don't quite fit in. Andy and her squad deploy anywhere in the world for the paid opportunity to utilize their intensive training. And they can't die. A singular event that's never happened before and is destined to lead the protagonist away from their status quo. A previous client sets them up. An examination of what's different in light of the something new, what's the same in spite of it in relation to the status quo. They take on one final mission, their own mission, to cover their identities. Dramatically and conveniently, we follow Niall in her final few minutes of her normal life. The discovery that things are less than ideal, or an exploration of how badly things are. Andy and squad feel the creation of another immortal, dividing their priorities, Copley or Niall. They split up, choosing both, while Niall struggles to come to terms with her resurrection. Characters dedicate their effort to a specified goal, which is smaller in scope than the primary objective of the third act. Copley reveals himself as the adversary agent to the Zuckerberg of Pharma Bros, and his mission is given additional personnel. Andy extracts Niall from a military outpost. A brief checklist of the story elements needed for the second act. Lots of dying. Andy's sense of mission. A wide spectrum of morally gray resources. The Copley manhunt. Niall's observant eye. And an exploration of what the human body can endure when it cannot quit. The singular event that launches the protagonist into the wild jungle of the second act, also called an oh shit moment. An old immortal and a new immortal take to the skies to meet up with 3 more immortals and go hunt the man who double-crossed them. Oh shit, okay. Characters must learn all new rules and expectations distinct to this adventure. Niall grapples with the reality and stakes of a life beyond death, and she quickly discovers that she's out of her old league now that she's running with Andy. Characters showcase their ability to grow in areas this adventure requires, typically through external means. Niall watches herself heal, finally reckoning reality from confusion, and she's finally able to listen and believe that she is immortal among mostly immortals. Characters face legitimate and understandable reasons to deviate from their stated convictions, agendas, or desires. The tale of Queen's capture gives everyone a reason to hide their agelessness, to stop fighting and lay low, forever. An escalation of problems that vex the protagonist. Copley tracks down the squad. Andy almost faces the loss of yet another comrade, then opens a prehistoric can of whoop-ass on everyone. Characters evolve internally by utilizing everything they've gathered and learned. Nikki and Joe confidently let themselves get transported to Copley's financier. Vulnerable at a place that's been abandoned for decades, Andy burrows deeper into her past. Journey-weary characters reconcile the reality of their ongoing situation with who they were in the first act. Captured, superheroes Nikki and Joe are reduced to lab rats, and Andy isn't healing like before. A singular event that strikes at the protagonist's core conflict. Niall begins to toy with her new condition, to test its boundaries. There's no turning back from here. Characters find a safe harbor that also provides needed answers for both external and internal conflicts. Booker explains to Niall that although she cannot die, her old life already has. Her family will not accept her new condition. The clarified objective is realized in part or in whole, though it's meaningless without the completion of the primary objective. With Niall safe, Andy wanders off and receives the help of a mere mortal, who reminds her that humans were meant to help each other. Andy quitting is not an option. Nikki and Joe are still in good spirits, but they're still strapped down and imprisoned. An existential conflict that wounds the protagonist's sense of self, worldly identity, or their journey. Niall continues to struggle with the morality of it all. She refuses to kill again, refuses to be one of Andy's soldiers. And finally, she's given a choice for the first time all movie. An undeniable win for the protagonist, typically in direct connection to the rebirth. Niall's ability to walk away leads her to realize Booker's double cross. Andy learns the truth of the betrayal, because the pain of immortality is just too much. A grand loss directly connected to the character's newfound inability to quit the journey. Booker discovers that Andy isn't healing anymore, and the rest of the trap slams shut around him. Copley pleads for scientific mercy, but Merrick has no more need to play along. A thematic freefall tied directly to the heavy price. Andy's squad is trapped in a comparable hellscape as Queen. The newest immortal picks up the scent and discovers that there's been a larger plan all along. A singular event that robs the protagonist of seemingly any chance of success. A brand new immortal looks to storm a heavily secured building with its own standing army. Characters cannot return to their starting personas and must turn to face the primary objective. Niall fully embraces the trauma and pain that comes with dying over and over and over. She reaches the squad and turns them loose. Characters move towards the climax while utilizing the major swings and sneaky misdirections of the story. Andy's immortal army is now at full power, with lots and lots of killer squad goal moments. Then Andy finds herself an axe. The final confrontation between the protagonist and the antagonistic force. They breach the penthouse and deliver some wrath with their righteous gunfire. Andy guesses as to why she lost her immortality, why Niall was picked. Then Merrick pops around the corner. Not his best decision. The singular event where the protagonist finally confronts their place in the status quo. Niall pile drives Merrick straight down into the sewage system. The direct aftermath of the climax. Niall takes a little longer to walk it off, but survives. The consequences of the climax in relation to other characters and the status quo. The squad considers Booker's place in their army. Niall mourns the family who are now mourning her. Booker takes his 100-year exile rather well. A tight focus on the protagonist contrasted from the opening. The squad recruits Copley as their CIA inside man to help protect and focus their mission. And oh yeah, Queen's been free long enough to regain her sanity and hunt down Booker. Epic sequel. And there you have it. My 13th example to support my argument that all movies follow the exact same story structure, regardless of how the writer approaches their craft. The old guard maintained a steady pace through the 29-point story structure, leveraging the plot beats for maximum emotional impact. But does this high-octane shoot-'em-up follow the same beats as a modern psychological thriller that makes Lord Voldemort's sadism look mild? Yes, it arguably does. Next on my docket, Get Out. Please subscribe to stay up to date with this and future videos, and please like and comment with your thoughts and reactions. I'll talk to you next time.